I think we are on the 51st chapter. Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. I will read a few lines to bring up to the speed, and then we will continue. This is wonderful. In short time we will be finished the volume 1, and then once we finish, there are 3 volumes. Once we finish, then we are gonna dwell on the life of Srila Prabhupada. There was also some whispering going on about a rumor that Rukmini had sent a messenger to Krishna. Therefore, the soldier suspected that Krishna might cause a disturbance by attempting to kidnap Rukmini. Even though they were not without fear, they were all prepared to give Krishna a nice fight in order to prevent the girl from being taken away. Sri Balaram received the news that Krishna has left for Kundina, accompanied only by a Brahmana. He also heard that Sisupal was there with a large number of soldiers. Suspecting that they would attack Krishna, Balram took strong military divisions of chariots, infantry, horses and elephants, and arrived at the precinct of Kundena. That's where we left. So we will continue. Meanwhile, inside the palace, Rukmini was expecting Krishna to arrive. But when neither he nor the Brahmana who took her message appeared, she became full of anxiety and began to think how unfortunate she was. So if he wants to have the anxiety, it is good to have anxiety for Krishna rather than for the temporary material things. It will come and go, don't worry. She said, there is only one night between today and my marriage day, and still neither the Brahmana nor Shyam Sundar has returned. I cannot ascertain any reason for this. Having a little hope, she thought perhaps Krishna had found a reason to become dissatisfied and had rejected her fair proposal. As a result, the Brahmana might have become disappointed and not come back. This is the wonderful teaching they are giving, that they contemplate just to churn their feeling for whatever the mood they carry in their heart. This is the beauty of the eternal associates. Although she was thinking of various causes for delay, they contemplate. This may be this, they may be this. She expected them both at every moment. Rukmini further began to think that demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the goddess Durga might have been displaced. It is generally said that the demigods become angry when they are not properly worshipped. For instance, when Indra found that the inhabitants of Vrindavan were not worshipping him, Krishna, no, in parenthesis, Krishna having stopped the Indra Yagna, parenthesis over, he became very angry and wanted to chastise them. Thus, Rukmini was thinking that she did not worship Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma very much. They might have become angry and tried to frustrate her plan. Similarly, she thought that the goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, might have taken the side of her husband. Lord Shiva, also known as Rudra, and his wife is known as Rudrani. Rudrani and Rudra refer to those who are very accustomed to putting others in a distressed condition, so they might cry forever. Haribo. Rukmini was thinking of the goddess Durga as Girija, Girija, the daughter of the Himalayan mountains. Himalayan mountains are very cold and hard, and she thought of the goddess Durga as hard-hearted and cold. In her anxiety to see Krishna, Rukmini, who was after all still a child, thought this way about the different demigods. The gopis worship goddess Katyayani to get Krishna as their husband. Similarly, Rukmini was thinking of the various types of demigods, not for material benefit, but in respect to Krishna. This is something we should learn. Praying to the demigod to achieve the favor of Krishna is not irregular. And Rukmini was fully absorbed in thought of Krishna. This is the sum and substance of our devotional practice, that we should absorb in thought of Krishna. And in this age of Kali, we will be able to reach that goal if we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra constantly. Even though she pacified herself by thinking that the time for Govinda to arrive had not yet expired. Hope against the hope. They never lose the hope they have. They just want to churn the feeling. Rukmini felt that she was hoping against the hope. Sometimes the word come in my mouth automatically. Haribol. Krishna is so merciful. She began to shed tears, and when they become more forceful, she closed her eyes in helplessness. While Rukmini was in such deep thought, auspicious symptoms appeared in different parts of her body. Trembling began to occur in her left eyelid and her arms and thighs. So twinkling on the left eye is very auspicious. When trembling occurs in these parts of the body, it is an auspicious sign indicating that something lucrative can be expected. Haribol. Just then, Rukmini, full of anxiety, saw the Brahmana messenger. Haribol. When that intensified feeling comes, Krishna wants to chant their feeling as much as he can. But when he thinks that they are unable to take any more, then he shows. So Krishna, being the super soul of all living being, could understand Rukmini's anxiety. Therefore, he sent the Brahmana inside the palace to let her know that he had arrived. Do not worry. And when Rukmini saw the Brahmana, she could understand the auspicious trembling of her body and immediately become elated. She smiled and inquired from him whether or not Krishna had already come. The Brahmana replied that the son of the Yadu dynasty, Sri Krishna, had arrived. He further encouraged her by saying that Krishna had promised to carry her away without fail. And Rukmini was so elated by the Brahmana's message that she wanted to give him in charity everything she possessed. That's love. We want to give everything for the pleasure of the Krishna. That is the pinnacle of our devotion. However, finding nothing suitable for presentation, she simply offered him her respectful obeisances. The significance of offering respectful obeisances to a superior is that the one offering obeisances is obliged to the respected person. In other words, Rukmini implied that she would remain ever grateful to the Brahmana. Anyone who gets the favor of the goddess of fortune, as did this Brahmana, is without a doubt always happy in material opulence. So when King Bhishmaka heard that Krishna and Balram had come, he invited them to see the marriage ceremony of his daughter. Immediately, he arranged to receive them along with the soldiers in a suitable garden house, as was the Vedic custom. The king offered Krishna and Balram honey and fresh washed cloth. He was hospitable not only to Krishna, Balram, and king such as Jarasandha, but he also received many other kings and princes according to their respective personal strength, age, and material possessions. Out of curiosity and eagerness, the people of Kundina assembled before Krishna and Balram and began to drink the nectar of their beauty. What a wonderful scene we can meditate upon. With tearful eyes, they offered them their silent respect. They didn't able to utter any word, but they show by their tears. They were very pleased, considering Lord Krishna the suitable match for Rukmini. They were so eager to unite Krishna and Rukmini that they began to pray to the personality of Godhead as follows. They say, my dear Lord, if we have performed any pious activities that you are satisfied with, kindly be merciful upon us and accept the hand of Rukmini. It appeared that Rukmini was a very popular princess, and all the citizens, out of intense love for her, prayed for her the best fortune. I was always, I made some comment that when we spend a lot of money on the marriage, I just tell them don't spend too much money. Because if you invite thousands of people, how many people do you think that from their heart citizen out of intense love for her prayed for her best fortune? In the meantime, Rukmini, being very nicely dressed and protected by bodyguards, came out of the palace to visit the temple of Ambika, the goddess Durga. Deity worship in the temple has been in existence since the beginning of Vedic culture. There is a class of men described in the Bhagavad Gita as the Veda Padarata. They only believe in the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, but not in the temple worship. Such foolish people may here take note that although this marriage of Krishna and Rukmini took place more than 5,000 years ago, there were arrangements for temple worship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, the worshipper of the demigods, attains the abode of the demigods. There were many people who worship the demigods and many who directly worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The system of demigod worship was directed mainly to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesh, the sun god, and the goddess Durga. I was listening the class of, who was that? Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Before he departed from this world, that, the people come out with so many, like, what was the name of this? Another goddess. Oh gosh, I forgot the name that I heard so many, that so many people become worshipper of. Oh, name is not gonna come. And Maharaj was saying that we have never heard. Santosima, Santosima. So many people. I know when I was young, they were the believer of Santosima. And Maharaj said there is no indication whatsoever anywhere in the scripture that any personality exists as Santosima. How people are getting misguided. It's nice to know those things. So these are the authorized, at least, the demigods. They are. And the goddess Durga were worshipped even by the royal families. Other minor demigods were worshipped by silly, inferior people. As far as the Brahmana and the Vaishnavas are concerned, they simply worship Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality Godhead. And when you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all these demigods will become very pleased. They will jump in the air to see that now he is becoming attached to Krishna, because that's what they want to do. In the Bhagavad Gita, the worship of demigod is condemned, but not forbidden. There it is clearly stated that the less intelligent class of men worship the different kind of demigods for material benefit. On the other hand, even though Rukmini was the goddess of fortune, she went to the temple of the goddess Durga because the family deity was worshipped there. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that as Rukmini was proceeding toward the temple of the goddess Durga, within her heart, she was always thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna. So therefore, when Rukmini went to the temple, it was not with the intention of an ordinary person to worship Durga, who goes to beg for the material benefit. Rukmini target was only Krishna. That's the difference. So if you pray to the demigod, if you have been in your family traditions that you worship, and until you come to your staunch faith just to worship Krishna, you can worship them. But worship in the mode that they become pleased with your devotion to grant you mercy, that you can serve Krishna. With that intent, it's okay. When people go to the temple of demigod, the objective is actually Krishna, since it is he who empowered the demigod to provide even material benefits. As Rukmini proceeded toward the temple, she was very silent and grave. Her mother and her girlfriend were by her side, and the wife of a Brahmana was in the center. Surrounding her were royal bodyguards. This custom of a would-be bride going to the temple of a demigod is still practiced in India. As the procession continued, various musical sounds were heard: drums, conchal, and bugles of different sizes, such as bonobos, turias, and bheris, combined to make a sound which was not only auspicious but very sweet to hear. These ragas, an instrument, sitar, all these things is so like, the song that we heard, just the music, the flute, so enchanting to our heart. It takes us to that different atmosphere temporarily. But we should always reside in those ambient where those transcendental sound vibration always vibrate, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra by the liberated personality. Hare Bol. There were thousands of wives of respectable Brahmanas present, and these women were all dressed very nicely with suitable ornaments. They presented Rukmini with flower garlands, sandalwood pearl, and a variety of colorful garments to assist her in worshipping Lord Shiva and the goddess Durga. Some of these ladies were very old and knew perfectly well how to chant prayers to the goddess Durga and Lord Shiva. So, followed by the Rukmini and others, they led these prayers before the deity. So, I think we have reached the time. We should be punctual in our practice. So, the devotees who has to go perform other prescribed duties, we don't want to get them late. With those thoughts, the wonderful narration, how wonderful it is even to remember this, the whole scene, and dwell in the thought of Krishna is so sublime, so pleasing to our mind and heart, isn't it? And when we hear this, sometime I play the music. It's just that you want to cry. It's very nice because we need to learn to cry. The tears should come out from our eyes, sometime at least. So with those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisance. Always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. There should be no fear in our life. Everything will happen according to the will of Lord, and we will be able to go through those circumstances. There is no problem. We have been doing for many, many lives. But something we can do unique is voluntarily show your love and affections to the divine couple and make your life so blissful. So whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful. And if any devotees, they have a young children and they wants to help them to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will be able to, in small service that I really relish, to guide them nicely. So their life becomes so jubilant and happy because these young children, they are so nice. Have you seen that? When I asked Vedika and Shreyans, are you chanting every day? Yes, Prabhuji. So sweet. Their word is catch my heart. So with those thoughts, always remain happy and jubilant. And also I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who take austerity every single day to wake up early in the morning, give their prime time to chanting Hare Krishna. From Houston, from Fresno, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Connecticut. Uh, the name is, how can I forget? Advaita Chandra Prabhu is traveling for 1 week, he wrote me. New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, Ohio, St. Louis, San Diego, Loganville, Georgia, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Toronto, Calcutta, New Delhi, and Pondicherry. So, this devotee who lives out of